Welcome to Kolter Homes' Inside World Pickleball Show, a weekly program featuring the sports, lifestyle, and action on and off the court of the fastest growing sport in America, pickleball.
Hello, everybody. I'm Carl Foster.
And I'm Melissa McCurley.
Welcome to this week's edition of
Inside World Pickleball.
All the pickleball on and off the court. Coming up on this week's show, our cover story focuses on Lady Pickleball Power and the rise of the women's pros.
It happened very quickly. I competed my whole life, have always absolutely loved it, and once I experienced pickleball tournaments and I was around the pickleball community, there was really no going back. I was so hooked on it.
I'm a tennis player, like most of us. I kind of fell into pickleball. I was still actually competing in tennis and doing all those types of things, and I was at a club. I'm from the West Coast, actually, so I was at a club in Portland, Oregon, and some of the members are snowbirds that started playing pickleball. So I had actually just kind of, they pulled me out there to kind of, with the members and stuff, and then they conned me into playing a tournament, and how pickleball works is they just kind of keep grabbing you in, and all of a sudden I was playing more pickleball than tennis.
Our Pro Player Competitive Edge segment with Lee Rosenthal features senior national champion Mircea Morarieu.
So one of my favorite things about pickleball, which really drew me to the game, was all the great people I've met. So that was one of the things that enticed me right away, plus the competitive aspect of it, of racket sports. So after quitting tennis, I started playing squash for a while, and then just randomly fell into pickleball, and I fell in love immediately.
The top pros will be heading west to Arizona for the Mesa PPA kickoff event. And we'll help improve your game with the Engaged Pickleball Tip of the Week from national champion and host of the upcoming Delray Beach Pickleball Open in March, Steve Kennedy.
I just wanted to give you a little tip of the day. Some really simple reminders, and let's just talk about what a split stop is. And everyone gets confused, is it split stop or split step? I don't care what you call it, just make sure that you do it.
All this and more to come on the Kolter Homes Inside World Pickleball Show.
This week's show is presented by North Point Bank, relationship-based banking, your number one choice for home loans and high-interest savings. And PGA Village Verano, the award-winning gated community in Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Shopping for a new home in Port St. Lucie? Start your search at PGAVillageVerano.com. Discover a resort-style community by Kolter Homes, featuring social and fitness clubhouses, award-winning homes and villas, championship golf next door, a 55-plus neighborhood, and South Florida's largest private pickleball center. See virtual tours and build your dream home online with interactive floor plans at PGAVillageVerano.com.
Home financing doesn't have to be puzzling. Whether you're looking to purchase a home or refinance, North Point's low competitive rates, client-focused service, and streamlined process make sure you have the right loan for the right home. The branch team at North Point Bank works hard to ensure you have the best information to make the best decision to put all the pieces of your financial puzzle together. There's a better way to do financing. Connect with the branch team to learn more today.
Welcome back to Inside World Pickleball. Our cover story this week featuring the powerful ladies in the world of pickleball. Starting off with the number one player in the world, Simone Jardim, and Melissa McCurley had a chance to talk to her about her training regimen.
What is your training regimen? People ask me, they're like, Melissa, can you give us some insight? What is her training regimen? What can you tell us?
If you want to know, because it's gone a little nuts.
Okay.
But I wake up every morning like super early. I don't sleep that much, really, I don't. So I wake up really early, and then I will go for a run. So I'm running every morning about 3 miles. So I run, and then I feel like also it has helped to start my day that way. And I do a lot of boxing. So good.
Wow.
Honestly, I'm in love with boxing. I fell in love with it because it's in a way it's like It's a stress reliever, and it's a great workout.
And how did these ladies get involved with that little plastic ball called pickleball?
I've been playing pickleball for about 7 years. I transitioned from tennis. I played golf in college, but I always loved tennis, so was trying to get back into it after college. And I just happened to join a club that had pickleball courts, and someone asked me to play, and that was it. But almost no more tennis. Still play occasionally, but definitely full-time pickleball now.
No more golf clubs either?
Very little. Sports is almost only pickleball.
Live and breathe pickleball right now. Well, you've made the transition. How long did it take you to realize you wanted to make this a professional and play your professional tournament and just start traveling around the country playing pro tours?
It happened very quickly. I competed my whole life. Have always absolutely loved it. And once I experienced pickleball tournaments and I was around the pickleball community, there was really no going back. I was so hooked on it. So yeah, that was it.
I'm a lawyer full time, but when I come to these tournaments, sure, my whole world is pickleball. That's fair to say.
Now, talk about how you found pickleball. Playing tennis, a lot of people obviously coming out of tennis, but very successful at UCLA. How did the pickleball bug get into you?
You know, I graduated UCLA in 2011, and I hadn't been playing any type of athletic, competitive anything in like 5 years. And then in 2017, Jalen Brennan, who actually lives down here in Savannah, was at home visiting her family in Michigan, and she sent me a Facebook message and invited me out to go play this silly little game with her, and that's kind of how it started.
The rest is history, right? Now, how is it on the professional? How was the transition from tennis to pickleball for you?
Well, like I said, I hadn't really been playing in a long time, so tennis-wise, so there wasn't too much of a transition, but I guess I think I picked up pickleball pretty faster than maybe some because of my tennis background. It certainly helps you with the hands battles and ground stroking.
I'm a tennis player, like most of us. I kind of fell into pickleball. I was still actually competing in tennis and doing all those types of things, and I was at a club. I'm from the West Coast, actually, so I was at a club in Portland, Oregon, and some of the members are snowbirds that started playing pickleball. So I had actually just kind of, they pulled me out there to kind of, with the members and stuff, and then they conned me into playing a tournament, and how pickleball works is they just kind of keep grabbing you in, and all of a sudden I was playing more pickleball than tennis.
Pickleball actually came into my life about 3 years ago. I was a tennis player, came to play tennis on an athletic scholarship a long time ago, and then stayed, got married to a military guy, and started playing pickleball because I really just missed competition. I was ready to compete again, and it's hard to compete in tennis and staying fit and just keep up. But it's got introduced to pickleball, learned in Colorado Springs, and then we moved around a little bit, military life, and played my first professional tournament with Ben Johns. He was so nice. So that was the first year was hard, and then you kind of get into the swing of things. Okay, this is how we play, and now I'm just blessed where I live in Miami. Then we have a lot of good players and get to practice.
How'd you get involved with this little plastic pickleball?
It's funny. I used to be a professional racquetball player, and they brought me from Mexico here to start promoting the sport. And in one of my pro stops, we were close to Naples, and my sister and I went, and we heard about the U.S. Open, so we went and checked it out. It was not as like it is right now. It was slower and different, so it took me like 2 more years, 3 more years to really try it. And then another pro stop, they have courts, and my sponsor just go and try it. And I went and tried it, and I just fell in love with the sport. So that's how I got into it.
And coming up in March at the Delray Beach Pickleball Open, some of the hosts, 2 of the top doubles players in the world, Lee and Annalie Waters.
Well, we started playing pickleball about 2.5 years ago. My dad, Neil, who lives in Pennsylvania, he taught us to play. But the first time that we actually teamed up was only about a year ago. And we kind of teamed up last minute, just thought we'd have a good time. And we ended up coming in second in the pro division. And we thought, well, hey, this worked out pretty well. Let's give this a go. And a year later, we won nationals, and now we're partners forever, or as long as she'll have me.
Well, that's it. Now, how is it playing with your mother? I know how probably from the father side and the mother side, playing with your child is great, but as a young and upcoming pickleball tennis player, and your mom obviously always telling you what to do growing up and listening to her, how is it on the pickleball court who makes the decisions?
Well, I don't think we've ever had an argument on the pickleball court. I feel like when we're on the pickleball court, we're partners, but we have like kind of like a mother-daughter intuition where we know where the other one's going to be on the court, and I feel like we just help each other like mentally and physically on the court.
I think we kind of call it our it factor. We never feel nervous with each other. If we miss a shot, we know that the other person is going to be supportive and not give us the eye roll or, get mad at us, which is huge in pickleball. To not have that pressure from your partner, it really, I think, gives us that step up. And like you said, we do kind of know who's going to hit what shot, when, where, how, and that helps you prepare for the shot that's going to come back at you. So we're always like kind of that split second ahead, I feel like.
Hi, this is Lee Rosenthal with Inside World Pickleball, and this is the Competitive Edge. I'm here with Mircea Morarieu, Senior Professional Champion. And Mircea, you've beaten almost every top player this year. Great job. And everybody knows who you are nowadays. And thank you for being on this segment with us. Tell us a little bit about your competitive edge.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you inviting me. I'm grateful to be here. I'm relatively new to pickleball. Been playing a little over a year, about a year and 4 months. And I have a background of some tennis. I grew up playing tennis in juniors with Lee Rosenthal, oddly enough. And we actually hadn't seen each other in a long time, and we reconnected on the pickleball courts. So one of my favorite things about pickleball, which really drew me to the game, was all the great people I've met. So that was one of the things that enticed me right away, plus the competitive aspect of it, of racket sports. So after quitting tennis, I started playing squash for a while, and then just randomly fell into pickleball, and I fell in love immediately.
But you work really hard, and you were telling me about that. You're playing how many days a week of pickleball, and then what are you doing off the court as well to stay in shape?
So as I mentioned before, I was playing squash, and while I was playing squash, I also did other things. It was doing some CrossFit training and some cross training at the gym in terms of running and rowing and lifting. So I've always done that for a long time to keep in shape after I quit playing tennis. And since then, since I started playing pickleball and really taking it seriously, what's really been able to elevate my game is playing with good players and learning from them, and playing trying to play as much as I can. I have to work too, so being a physician, so I don't get as much as I would like, but I try to play at least 3-4 days a week, and sometimes 5 or 6 if I can. That would be ideal.
Yep. And one thing I want to know about, and the viewers I'm sure want to hear about, this gentleman has a huge forehand. He rockets his forehand. I've got welts from his forehand, I promise you. Mircea, how do you generate that power, that speed?
Well, I think part of it is from my tennis background, but I really try to focus on using other parts of my body besides my arm. So I really try to focus on generating some force with, bending my knees, turning my hips, and swinging through the ball using my core. And that's one of the things that I really work on is my core strength. And so I try to transfer my weight from back to front using my core in addition to the swing of the paddle.
So you're telling me I should work on my core?
I find it helps, and it helps with limiting back problems, and just helps your game overall and your stability and your balance. And what I find interesting from playing the tournaments and playing a little bit higher level progressively over the last year is how important court positioning is. If you watch the professionals play, you'll see that they crowd the middle, they go up to the kitchen, and it might be as simple as being like a few inches behind the kitchen line, or like six inches or maybe even a foot, versus being 2 feet back and potentially missing a ball in the net. And if you're even a foot closer to the net, but obviously behind the kitchen, that ball might be a winner. So it makes such a huge difference that anyone can do, whether you're not in great shape, or you have a knee or back issue and your mobility isn't as great. You can still position yourself on the court and take advantage of that positioning to make the ball easier to hit.
That makes sense. So you're tightening up the court, you're shortening the court.
Exactly. And things that I've really learned that's helped is for most people play doubles. So in doubles, moving with your partner. So if your partner is getting a dink, out to the left on the ad side, and you're on the do side, you follow them to the left. So you move in tandem to cover the middle, and that is just so important, especially at the higher levels. But it's important in general with rec play too.
Thank you. And another question I have for you, Mircea, is I notice when you play, you do get excited sometimes, but you also stay extremely calm. I noticed when you make an error, you don't react. You move on very well to that next point, and almost a little bit of a poker face, and it can be quite intimidating. Is that something you do consciously? Did you learn that over the years of tennis? Share that with all of us.
Well, from playing competitive sports, and especially tennis, there's always the next point. So if you focus on what's happened in the past, which you can't do anything about, you tend to lose concentration, and it can filter into the following points in games. And pickleball there's not a lot of margin of error. It's a small court. You can't spin the ball like in tennis. Things happen quickly, and if you don't move beyond a mistake, you're going to be stuck there, and it's going to impair your progress and how you do the rest of the game. So it's definitely something I've learned that's very, very important in terms of being successful and winning.
And I have a feeling that's not just in the pickleball court, that might also be in life as well.
Absolutely. You can't do anything about the past. You try to move on and just do better. That's all you can do.
Well, we appreciate your time here today. This is Lee Rosenthal with champion Mircea Morarieu. This is Inside World Pickleball, the competitive edge.
Lucy Kovalova. Pickleball cocktail.
And cut. Got it. Sweet. All right. You guys.
Patrick, did you get all the shots you need? Because I would really like to go play pickleball.
Lucy, I'm making art here. Did Michelangelo take a break from the Sistine Chapel to go play soccer?
Places, everyone.
If she's got to go, I can take her spot.
Discover the plus in 55-plus living at Crestwind Palm Beach. Located in Westlake, Florida's newest city, Crestwind Palm Beach is a fresh new home choice designed for the next generation. Crestwind Palm Beach is a 55-plus community for those who thrive on a happy, healthy life through fitness, nutrition, and relationships. 9 decorated models now open. To learn more about all the pluses Crestwind offers, visit CrestwindPalmBeach.com. That's CrestwindPalmBeach.com.
Home financing doesn't have to be puzzling. Whether you're looking to purchase a home or refinance, NorthPoint's low competitive rates, client-focused service, and streamlined process make sure you have the right loan for the right home. The branch team at NorthPoint Bank works hard to ensure you have the best information to make the best decision to put all the pieces of your financial puzzle together. There's a better way to do financing. Connect with the branch team to learn more today.
It's time for the Engage Pickleball Tip of the Week with Senior Championship Pro Steve Kennedy.
I just want to give you a little tip of the day. Some really simple reminders. And let's just talk about what a split stop is. And everyone gets confused, is it split stop or split step? I don't care what you call it, just make sure that you do it. Now, a split step should be happening after every time you hit the ball. Now, the big question is when should it happen? And I'm going to tell you that when you're playing a point, that a split stop, and basically a split stop is nothing more than you coming to a stop, getting into a ready position, getting up to your toes, getting your paddle positioning proper, okay? When that should happen is just before your opponent is about to make contact with the ball. And what that enables you to do is it enables you to visually see the court out in front of you, enables you to slow yourself down and change direction if need be. So we'll be able to time our split stop, get our paddle positioning right. The ball should then be struck coming at you, and you would have the ability to move left, right, back off, move forward. You can move in any direction. So it's really just a start from every shot. So really concentrate on your split stop. Make sure you do it at the right time, and it will make a big difference in your pickleball game, I guarantee.
And that's this week's edition of
Inside World Pickleball.
I'm Carl Foster with
Melissa McCurley.
Carpe
Dinkum.
This week's show is presented by North Point Bank, relationship-based banking, your #1 choice for home loans and high-interest savings. And PGA Village Verano, the award-winning gated community in Port St. Lucie, Florida.